Destiny desu.
Ayo, it's Destiny Aitsuji all over again, so I'm here with a new video. It's been a little bit way too long before I uploaded this, but anyways, this is a new format. I'll be using this in Canva. I created these slides to talk about how to create a best-selling web novel idea. It's a two-part video, so the first video today, the first part is going to be about creation. So how do you create an idea for a best-selling web novel? Realize it's best-selling. Anybody can come up with an idea for a novel, but I'm going to be sharing how you can create one that would potentially sell the best. So things I'm going to cover in this part 1 video is themes, book cover, synopsis, first chapter, and beta readers. The first thing is themes, so you want to pick a good topic to delve into to write your book. So a lot of people are asking, I'm new. I've written books before maybe, but they don't sell. What is the difference between a best-selling idea and a book that anybody else can write based on inspiration? Well, here's the answer. Trend. Market demand. So you want to follow a trend. You want to follow market demand. And a lot of people are saying, but trend just moves on so fast. They run out like clothes. That is true. So trend come and go. The train come and go. If you miss it, it's not gonna work. It's a risky decision to hop on an existing trend. But finding new trends can be hard for some people. If you can spot a new trend coming up, you should go for it. But if you can't, then here's my suggestion. Do a fusion. Do something that already exists, that you know there is a demand for it, but also preserve your originality. For example, vampire romance has been around for the longest time, and while so many people have done it, what's gonna make yours different? So maybe this vampire romance doesn't just end with, sparkling vampires ending up with a human girl. No, maybe this vampire romance can be a vampire who lives under the sea, something like this, and a vampire who actually is just a regular nerd, This kind of originality mixed with the existing themes will make your story pop out of the ordinary within the mainstream category. So the readers who are dying for something newer will come, they will explore, and if it's good, they will stay for the ride. Another thing to know is that when you are choosing your themes, always choose something that you are confident working with. For example, if you are someone who doesn't know how to write smart scenes in romance, don't write adult romance. If you are someone who is uncomfortable with writing harem, do not go for harem. If you are someone who's not good at math and science, don't choose sci-fi, go for fantasy instead, because this is gonna kill you in the long run if your book picks up and that's the last thing you want. So now you're actually done with choosing the theme that you want to go in. What's next? A book cover. So a book cover is important because it's the very first thing that draws people to check your story out. It's a visual proposal to your potential readers. So how are you going to design a best-selling book cover to match this idea? Firstly, you gotta study the market that you are targeting your book to. For example, is this book written for males or females? I'll be covering this in a part 2 video on how to analyze the market demands and sell your book once it's published. Generally, you should design a book cover that appeals to the audience that you're targeting. And then once you're done with that, please make the title readable. Choose a readable font. A lot of people choose something that looks good but doesn't stand out in the sea of other book covers. When you design a book cover, it gets shrunk down in size on a phone application. The most important thing that you want to see on a book cover is going to be the book title. You're gonna want a book title. You're gonna be wanting a center point, a focal point on that book cover. Too much details will not be good. So that's just a rule of thumb for web novels only. Third point is author representation. So author representation simply means something that represents you. Going down, it's going to build up your personal brand. For example, if you are a writer who aligns yourself with LGBT community, okay, you want to be able to make your readers recognize your future works by a similar style, that's author representation. If you are an LGBT person, you don't mind putting out the rainbow flag. Every book cover is gonna have a rainbow somewhere subtly within the picture. That is a style that you can use to represent yourself for you and all your future works so that your reader will remain loyal to this author when they see it. And last but not least, copyright. A lot of authors don't have money to pay for a book cover that's designed by an artist, and that's fine. You can make your own book cover. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But once again, the internet doesn't appreciate you ripping off pretty images and not crediting the artist who created it. Always ask for permission before you use it. You can get into huge trouble. Save yourself the future mess. Don't use images that are not copyrighted if you do not ask for the permission. That's all I can say. So some examples of book covers that I've done. These are all done by artists. So as you can see, Timecraft Academy, Liberal Assassin, Fons Vitae are done by artists. They are like artist friends. So if you don't know any artists and you want to find an artist that's affordable with this kind of quality, you can ask me. I can recommend them to you. Book cover that's good can go anywhere from 100 USD, and the good ones but are kind of like photo bash together can cost about 40 euros. That kind of thing. Original art characters can cost about 40 euros. So that's like the price range that I know. On the other hand, Ball of Nothing and Survival Bunker, these two are photo bashed with copyright free images, and it's done by Web Novel and ring them separately. So this are definitely copyright free. They are safe to use. I find them good enough. I don't have to hire an artist. It's just some basic Photoshop skills. If you know some Photoshops and photo editing skills, you can definitely use this. Alternatively, you can also turn to Canva to create your own book cover. That's completely fine. Canva is free to use. And no, I'm not sponsored by Canva. The slides that you are seeing now are made in Canva. I am not sponsored, just saying. But I do appreciate that Canva is free for the community. It's very handy. You can try it out by yourself. Once you're done with the book cover, you're going to want to do a synopsis. A synopsis is going to be something that pitches your story content to your future readers. It's going to have to catch their attention. It's going to want to make them feel like flipping the page to read your first chapter. So what is a good format? This golden format is given to me by a content editor on Web Novels. So it should be very good because they constantly read new books. Every day they are reading books, and this is what they found to be the most useful format for all synopsis. Only applicable for web novels. So an example over here that I've taken from my own work, the new one that's coming out, Godfather World, we have over here underlined a memorable quote and the main character's name. So this first line is usually the ones that they see in the feature. It's about 20 words. So your first 20 words can be seen. So you have to get your reader's attention within the first 20 words before it is cut off. So following this, if they actually click in, what they want to see is the introduction to the main character as well as the golden finger, followed by the world introduction and the plot of the story. Last but not least, once they read to the end, you need to tell them what to do. It's a call to action. So in my case, I introduced the world as a world ruled by criminals, and then I also introduced the main character as the third young master of a criminal family with the golden finger ability to learn at hyperspeed. So the plot is he's got to become the new godfather, and my call to action is telling readers to read as he struggles his way to the top. This is a very simple, very clean, but also very effective synopsis for your best-selling work. You can take this example. You can use the golden format. It's free to use. And if you're unsure, you can check with content editors. If you're writing with web novel, they will advise you accordingly. So once you're done with the synopsis, you should be good to write the first chapter. So what is a good first chapter? Basically, your first chapter has to consist of a few things. You need to introduce your character, you need to introduce the world, you need to decide on the length of the chapter and keep it consistent throughout your work. You're going to need a stunning first paragraph to pull people in, because this first paragraph is going to be the one seen on features. people won't read more than the first paragraph normally in a feature because there is a limit, probably less than 100 words. You gotta buy your readers in within 100 words. And then last but not least, you're gonna have to have a cliff ending, which means you're gonna want them wanting more by the time they're done with that first chapter. You want them to move on and read the next chapter. You want them to subscribe. You want them to vote. You want them to love your story just within that first chapter. So an example, again taken from Godfather's World. This is an opening. This is not exactly a first chapter, but this is what you'll be able to see if the work was featured. So in here, you got an opening line that makes people question, what is this character doing? What is going on? If they are questioning things, it means they are curious to find out more, and this is a good way to start the story. So you introduce your main character after a good opening, and then you tell them where this main character is. In my case, it's a VR game. How do you end the first chapter? So a first chapter can end on a cliff. There are many ways to end a first chapter successfully, but I find the most effective is to leave them hanging. Just before a big decision, cut it off. Just before he is able to do anything else, cut it off. Just before he looks like he's gonna die, cut it off. That is a good cliff ending. So you've done your first chapter, you've done your book cover, you've done your synopsis, you've done a lot of things. That's great, that's progress. So what's next? At this stage, do not rush to write the next 50 chapters. You're going to have to recruit an army of very special people called the beta readers. So what is a beta reader? Some people are confused. Aren't they proofreaders? No, they're not. So a proofreader is basically a human spell checker. They tell you when you have grammatical errors, spelling errors, or when your phrasing is confusing. But a beta reader does more. A beta reader might not be able to tell you all these things, and beta reader might not be good at English or the language that you're writing in, but a beta reader is definitely your very first readers who will give you feedback on how they find the story that you are writing. So how to choose a beta reader? Among the readers that you have currently, get volunteers. The more enthusiastic they are, the bigger fans they are of what you write, the better the beta readers they will be. It's even better if these beta readers fit into the category of your targeted audience. For example, if you are writing a female lead novel, a royal romance novel, you don't want to really find male readers because they don't really read this kind of things. You're gonna want to find teenage girls. You're gonna want to find teenage girls who are addicted to Korean dramas, who dream of Prince Charmings, who know what they are looking for in all these fantasy romances. You're gonna want to find them, you're gonna want to group them up. So how many beta readers is enough? Anything from, I would suggest more than 1, 2 or 3 is a nice size, but no more than 10, so that you get a variety of feedback that can balance each other out, because every beta reader has an opinion and some of these opinions may be biased. If one beta reader is saying something and you as the author disagrees, it's fine. But if all three beta readers are saying the same thing, that should be a check mark for your author, for you as an author, to go back and revise and think about it. If they are explaining a different understanding from what you intend to convey, this is the time to go back and review what you've written and think if there is a better way to put this so that your readers can enjoy it better when you publish it, of course. So a beta system is something like a checklist. So for example, you upload a chapter. How are you going to let your beta system, your beta readers know that the chapter is uploaded? Many ways to go about doing this. I do it on Discord. I get everyone on Discord and I upload to Google Drive, so I get everyone's Gmails and we can sit down and we can do this together. Other writers may want to host a time stream for beta readers, so they'll hold a stream and then all the beta readers come in voice chat, they'll publish the chapter, everyone reads it, everyone comments about it, and then everyone goes back, so it's done quickly. Find a system that works best for you. So a feedback guide is just something like a question list for new beta readers who don't know how to be beta readers. You, the author, prepare a checklist for them to know what they are thinking, to know how they find the chapter. You prepare questions to help them think if this chapter is good or if this chapter requires improvement and where should the improvement be. So healthy communication is always advised. You don't want to be working with beta readers who are just there to demoralize you and mock you as the author. That's toxic. You don't need those. A feedback guideline is something like this. So I actually posted on my Discord. If anyone is still interested, I have 2 more vacancies for my beta readers. This is beta reading for Godfather's World only, right? So you can take this format for your own beta readers. I usually put my mark on 7. Anything that's less than a 7 in interest scale is bad. I will go back to revise the chapter because I know anything less than a 7 means chances are my readers are going to start dropping. So with that, I hope this helps you. This is part 1 of the video, how to create a best-selling web novel idea. So this is the creation stage. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you guys next time.